Hi everyone. So before I start the topic, so that is today's topic is basically sex-linked inheritance or X-linked inheritance, where the faulty chromosome is basically a X chromosome. So we'll be talking about this, and before I start with this, let me introduce myself. Hi Ritika. Good evening. So let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology and Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISC both. So this link you can find in the description. So go to the description. So you will find a link for special classes. You will find a link for uh, the Unacademy channel, and also you will find the link for community as well as the Bucks Bounty. Okay, so special classes are conducted, which are absolutely free classes, are conducted on Unacademy platform. So all you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app and start taking up the sessions from the different educators. So basically for PCMB there are educators, so for physics, chemistry, maths and bio. So you can take part in the quiz also that is being conducted by the different educator. So especially now I'm running a special class series where I'm discussing about the structure based questions or diagram based questions. Okay, so if you are planning to take these sessions, so you can just download the Unacademy Learners app and start taking up a diagram based sessions right away. So previously, just before this class I had one session that is a diagram based session, discussion on transpiration. So you can take up, already the recording is also available, so you can watch the recordings that are available and start taking up the sessions here. You can even clear your doubts during the live session. So this is there is a question tab where you can click on that question tab, which is available during a live special class. Then you have an option to type in your question. You even have an option to attach an image and send it to the educator, that is during the live session, so that can also be done. Okay, so now for the top special classes you can visit the link in the description. Now engage with educator via poll is given, so that means they'll be conducting a quiz. At the end we'll be sharing the leaderboard so that you can know your rank and compete with your friends. So now this is about the free classes that I was talking about, where only a certain percentage of topics will be covered. But here in plus classes we are completing 100% syllabus. So 100% syllabus coverage will be done here. So you can learn live from the comfort of your home. You will have access to unlimited, basically all the courses you will have access to. Now different educators will come up with different courses, so you will have access to all the courses once you take the subscription. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, so that is Unacademy platform. There is a regular doubt clearing session that is conducted. So that is after about every 3 sessions, the fourth session will be your doubt clearing session. So whatever doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubts in the doubt clearing session. And this can be even your answer discussion session or a answer writing session, or it can even be a practice session, like where we can conduct a quiz. Okay, so this session is going to help you a lot in preparation uh, with respect to a specific chapter that is going on right there. Okay, so basically if there are no doubts, we'll be clearing the doubts first, and if there are no doubts, so basically we can even conduct a quiz, or structure based question, or a certain give reason type of question discussion can be done here. So complete syllabus, that is 100% syllabus coverage will be done. Mentorship and guidance will be given. The study material is also given, and with that there is a practice test series that is given. The live test series are conducted, and along with that you will have access to different batches. So we have a batch in English, we have a batch in English, so you will have access to both the batches once you take the subscription. So you can go according to what you are interested in. So if you prefer to learn in English only, you can go with the English batch. If you prefer to learn in English, then you can go with the Hindi batch as well. All right. So along with that, there is a daily practice section which is there, weekly mock test series is there, live quizzes are there, daily MCQ and subjective test series are also conducted. Now Unacademy plus subscription pricings, I usually recommend you all to go with 12 months of subscription, as there is a offer if you are subscribing for 12 months, so you will be getting so basically let's say now you are in class 10. So if you are subscribing, so let's say you are in class 10, so if you are subscribing for 12 months, so you will be getting class 11 and class 12 subscription also absolutely free along with your class 10. So in that case, so you can go with the 12 months of subscriptions. If you just want to try like how exactly this works, you can even try with 3 months or maybe 6 months, but I usually recommend you all to go with the 12 months of subscription. So since this is the beginning of your academic year also, so you can go ahead with 12 months of subscription. And this is my referral code VANIYT to get 10% discount on the subscription. So you can go for any of this. So on that you will be getting a 10% discount, that is by using a VANIYT code. Okay, so let's get started. So that is, today we are going to discuss about the X-linked inheritance. Okay, so what exactly is X-linked inheritance? Anybody has any idea about this? The X-linked inheritance. So what is being shown here? So this is what? No idea what is this part? So this is basically a DNA. Okay, so DNA, where do you find a DNA? So DNA is condensed. So basically you can see condensation of a DNA which is compactly arranged, so that is in the chromosome itself. And now which chromosome are we going to study? We are going to study about the X chromosome, which is carrying a faulty gene, and that faulty gene is making one to have a particular condition or a disease. Okay, so we'll discuss about that. And here you can see genetic disorders are illness which are caused by the abnormalities in the chromosome. So there is a chromosomal abnormality, so there might be a part of a chromosome that might be missing, a part of a DNA that might be missing, a part of a chromosome that might have shifted from one chromosome to the other. So that is also a possibility. So anything can be there. So it can be because of a mutation. So mutation definition itself says that a sudden change in the structure of a chromosome or in the DNA. So that is basically, it is making a certain changes with respect to the phenotype of your body. That is the external or a visible character what we mentioned. So phenotype is going to vary, and that is being affected, that is because of the mutation. So here X-linked inheritance, so somehow the X chromosome is carrying a faulty gene, and that is being passed on from generation to the generation, that is from generation to the next generation. And the next generation is also having this disease. So let's have a discussion on this. Okay, so there are autosomal and sex-linked disorder. Okay, so autosomal are those nothing but 1 to 22 pairs of chromosome which are there in our body, in each cell. So this is basically in each cell. So those are all body chromosomes which can called as a autosome, which can be called as a autosome. So in that case, any fault, any faulty protein might be expressed. So in any of these chromosomes, so it can be chromosome number 1, chromosome number 2, chromosome number 1 to 22, anywhere. If there is any faulty protein that is being produced, your body feature is going to change. And because of that, you can see in Tare Zameen Par movie, if you have seen special need children, okay. So what exactly you can see, almond shaped eye, then the face feature is somewhat different. You can see a palm crease, like horizontal line here in the palm, so that is a palm crease. Mental retardation you can see. So in all these cases, it is associated with some faulty chromosome that is expressing a faulty protein, and that faulty protein is the one which is making this phenotype a different one. Okay, so now sex linked disorders, when we mention, which is depending on the chromosome that is related to the disorder. Okay, so now here when we mention, so sex linked disorders are depending on the chromosome related to the disorders. Here the sex linked chromosomes are which one? That is the X and the Y chromosome. So here 1 to 22 pairs of chromosome which are there. The first chromosome pair, so first pair, and like this 22nd pair, what are they? So all these are autosomes. Okay, so these are all what? These are all autosomes, which can even be called as a body chromosome. So any faulty chromosome that is there in them, like there might be a part of the chromosome is deleted, or the part of a chromosome is shifted, or the DNA, the gene itself, there is a substitution, or we can say deletion, addition and all has occurred, and that is a mutation. So because of that, your body feature or the phenotype is going to change. So this is with respect to mutation. So phenotype change you can see. Okay, so when the mutation occurs, so that is just a phenotype, like external appearance or the visible character what we see, so that is gonna change here. Okay, now the other one is the sex chromosome. So sex chromosome, here we can say, just a second, all right. Yeah, all right. So now the 23rd pair being the XX, okay. So that is in case of a male, and the 23rd being the, sorry, this is female, okay, and XY, so which is in the male. So now these are the 23rd pair of a chromosome. So if there is any faulty chromosome here in any of these, so that will lead to a sex linked disorder. So that is sex linked inheritance is the faulty chromosome or a faulty gene or a faulty DNA which is present in the X chromosome or the Y chromosome. So that is going to make your phenotype vary, that is the visible character vary. So that we call as a sex linked or a X linked. So sex, or here specifically it is related to X we are studying, so it can be with respect to X linked inheritance. So there is a Y linked inheritance also. So Y linked inheritance, X linked as well as sex linked. So Y linked inheritance, there is one example that you can know. Okay, so for Y linked inheritance, so there is ear trichosis. Okay, so Y linked inheritance, when we mention, so there are certain disorders which are mentioned. So you will not be studying this one in detail, like case studies and all you are not studying, but yes, of course, there is a condition called as ear trichosis. Okay, and also there is a condition, so that is a baldness. Okay, so these two are the Y-linked inheritance, but under X-linked inheritance, so we'll be studying about the chromosome fault. Okay, so that is the X chromosome, where you will be, it is color blindness. So let me just write this. So this is X-linked inheritance. So you can come across, there is a color blindness you will be studying in detail, and also the hemophilia. Okay, so hemophilia you'll be studying under this part. All right, so let's have a look at this. So sex linked inheritance, it is does not fit into the Mendel's law of inheritance, because he has mainly considered the contrasting characters. So this is with respect to the growth of a plant. So there is a slight difference with respect to sex linked inheritance. So males and females have different sex chromosomes. So there is XX and XY. So XX is found in female, XY is found in male. Okay, so now that's different sex linked traits. So here this is gonna vary a lot. So if two X chromosomes are there, and if both of the X chromosomes are faulty, then only the female is going to get a disease. Let's say one of the X chromosome is faulty and the other one is completely normal, then this individual is going to lead a normal life, but there is a chance that she can transfer her disease to the next generation. So with respect to that, if we are talking about the male now, so XY, so there is only one X chromosome, there is only one Y chromosome. So what is going to happen is, as there is only one X chromosome, this X chromosome is going to express itself fully, and the Y chromosome is going to express itself fully. So that means both of them are there, like both of them are expressing themselves fully. And that's the reason you can see that even though male is having just one X chromosome, so he is getting a disorder. So we might think that based on the quantity, like the quantity of X chromosome in female is more, but we think that the female should have a disorder more as compared to a male, but this is not happening. So because there is only one X chromosome which is expressing the X chromosome is expressing itself fully, and that's the reason there is no another X chromosome to dominate the action of this X chromosome, and that's the reason the male is going to get a disease even if one faulty chromosome, that is even if one X chromosome is affected. But in case of females, since she is having two of the X chromosome which are always expressing for the same feature, so in that case you can see that all right, so you can see basically one of the X chromosome is at a fault, the other one is going to dominate the action. Only if both of them are faulty chromosome, then there is a disease which can be seen in a female. Okay, so now sex linked traits usually relate to genes that are located here on the X chromosome. So on the X chromosome you can see that there is a specific gene which is present, and that is the one which is causing the color blindness. Okay, so color blindness is mainly by that particular gene, and also a hemophilia. Okay, so both of these are being caused, that is because the gene on the X chromosome, so there might be a faulty gene on the X chromosome, and that's the reason there is a color blindness and a hemophilia. So who is carrying the faulty chromosome, I mean faulty gene, that is the X chromosome is the one which is carrying the faulty gene. So now many sex linked disorders are connected to a recessive gene. That means, let me just explain you this. Okay, so now recessive gene is once a gene, let's say this is X and X. Okay, so recessive gene is this one which is a faulty one, so which is usually not expressing itself. So this is not expressing because this is a faulty gene for the color blindness. So this one will indicate that this is for a color blindness. Okay, so that means only one of the chromosome is affected, so it is not expressing itself. That is because there is a dominant allele, there is a dominant gene, and this one, since it is not expressing itself, and we call this one as the recessive one, because when a dominant allele or a dominant chromosome is present, so this is going to express itself. Okay, so this will be expressing itself, where you see there is no expression of this one. So recessive, being a recessive advantage is that if there is a dominant chromosome, then recessive is not going to express itself. In that case, there is no disorder. So that means there is no symptoms. So there are no symptoms of this one. But this individual can be a carrier. So she or he can be a carrier there. Okay. So this is a carrier. So that means they are just carrying a faulty chromosome, and they are just going to pass it to the next one. Now depending on the next generation whom they are getting married, so again there is a case study that we need to perform. So I'll just explain you that. So here there is no disease because this is going to be a carrier without any symptoms. So there are no symptoms in this case because there is one normal chromosome which is expressing itself normally. So that means a normal function is occurring. So here we can mention, so recessive is going to express itself. Okay, so recessive chromosome will express itself. So this one is now for the color blind female. So she is who? She is a color blind female. Okay, and this color blind female is basically color blind because both of her chromosomes are expressing itself, because this is in a recessive condition and it is a homozygous condition. Okay, so what condition is this? This is a homozygous condition. So recessive is going to express itself. Okay, so this will express itself, that is in a homozygous condition. Okay, or otherwise the recessive usually does not express itself in a heterozygous condition. Only you can see a recessive expression, so that is in a homozygous condition. Okay, and many sex linked disorders. Okay, so just a second. Yeah, so many sex linked disorders are connected to a recessive gene, which is actually a good thing, because if one faulty gene is present, so other, if dominant one is present, so basically the female, it is usually in case of a female, and that's the reason female is not getting a disorder more, but the male is getting a disorder. That is because male is having only one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. So X is going to express itself fully and Y is going to express itself fully, and that's the reason the males are more like male, or the male individuals are more affected by the color blindness or a hemophilia more than compared to a female, because female is having two X chromosome. If one X chromosome is not working well, that is a faulty protein is being produced, the other X chromosome is going to dominate the action of this faulty chromosome and it is going to express itself fully, and that's the reason female is getting this disorder very less as compared to a male. Okay, so let's have a look at the hemophilia now. So hemophilia, which is a bleeder's disorder, or this is also called as, one more term is there. So do you guys know what is hemophilia? Another term which is used for this, for hemophilia? Any of you? No idea on this? Okay, so hemophilia is basically, it is called as a bleeder's disease, and this is also called as a royal disease. Okay, so why exactly the name came as a royal disease is, so for the very first time this was discovered in a royal family, that is Queen Victoria's family, and that's the reason it was spread there itself. So usually when we mention royal families, what they do, so just to keep their properties and other things, so basically they'll marry among their relatives. Okay, and since there is a recessive gene running in the family, so two of the recessive genes are coming together and the female can also get affected. So usually male is anyway being affected, so that is because only one X chromosome is there. Okay, so even if one faulty X chromosome is coming, then it's completely like the male is gonna get affected. But in case of a female, since she is having two of the X chromosomes, so if one is a faulty chromosome, the other one is gonna work totally fine. That is, normal protein is being produced. If both of them, so since they get married within their family, so what will happen? So recessive genes are coming together like this. Where is it? Where did I write that? Yeah, so recessive genes here, that is faulty genes are coming together like this, and that is when you can see that the female is being affected there. Okay. Hi Vaibhav, you are teaching on Unacademy or on YT. So this is YT Unacademy channel itself, Vaibhav. So this is Unacademy channel of like YT on YT itself, Unacademy channel it is. Unacademy ICSE and ISC both channel. So you can see that the recessive genes are coming together, and as the recessive genes come together, that is a homozygous condition. So in a homozygous condition, recessive is going to express itself. So hemophilia or the bleeder's disease has a defective blood coagulation. So that means a clotting factor which is responsible here. So there is a clotting factor. Okay, so this clotting factor which is responsible for formation of a clot, so that is not being formed. So as the clotting factor is not there, you know, if there is a cut made in the skin, so basically they are going to bleed continuously. Why? Because the clotting factor itself is not there to form a clot here, and there is a continuous bleeding. And in such conditions, so basically external source of a clotting factor is supplied to their body so that the bleeding can be stopped. Okay, so hemophilia or a bleeder's disease, which can even be called as a royal disease, has a defective blood coagulation where the patient is going to bleed continuously. So now single protein involved in a blood clotting within a cascade of protein is affected. So here, let's say, okay, so this is one protein. Okay, so this is a chain of a protein is required. So there is a chain of protein that is required. Okay, and now this chain of a protein which will play a role in formation of clotting factor. Okay, so this is a cascade of protein we can mention. So cascade of proteins are required, or basically these can be enzymes. So these are required for formation of, so this is for formation of, what is this, clotting factor. So all of them I have written FF, just a second. Yeah, so this is for formation of clotting factor. Okay, so now what exactly is happening? So as the clotting factor is not being formed because one of the protein is not expressing itself, so there is a faulty protein that is being produced. So if a faulty protein expression occurs, so in that case you can see that the cascade of protein is not completing its channel, and that's the reason. So next protein anyway is there. Okay, so next protein is there, but in between you can see this protein is not there. So that means this is not gonna work. So there is no formation of a clotting factor, and that's the reason when we mention, so single protein involved in the blood clotting within a cascade of protein, so that is affected, and that's the reason the clotting factor is not formed. So sex-linked recessive genetic disease transmitted from the unaffected carrier female to the male offspring. So this can occur. So we'll see some case studies. So the defective gene is located on the X chromosome, that is of the mother. So this is passed on to some of her sons. So in that case, let's have a look at this, which is basically a crisscross inheritance. Okay, one second. Yeah, so here we'll discuss about the crisscross inheritance. So why exactly are we calling this a crisscross inheritance? So why this is a crisscross inheritance is, so if a father is affected, okay, so if a father is affected, so he is going to pass his disease to a daughter. Okay, so this is, the daughter is getting a disease because daughter is getting the X chromosome from the father. Okay, and that's the reason the daughter is getting a disease. Now if the mother is affected, so mother is going to pass on her disease, that is to the son, and that's the reason this is mentioned as a crisscross inheritance, which is mentioned for the sex linked or X linked inheritance, X or sex or crisscross inheritance. So this is basically a inheritance pattern that you can see. So let's have a look at some of the case studies which can be done for this. So some of the case studies which is mentioned here. So they have given a case study with respect to color blindness, but I'll take it as a H, which is which will indicate for a hemophilia. So this is a carrier female and a normal male is there. So let's have a look at this. Okay, I'll explain it here, just a second. All right, so let's see case study. Okay, so this is case study with respect to one where we can just have a look at the normal female. So what is given here? The carrier female is given. So let's have a look at this. So carrier female is there. Okay, so this carrier female, how do we represent? She is not having any symptoms, so that means only one of her chromosome, X chromosome, is affected. The other chromosome is completely normal. Okay, so this one is a carrier female now. So she marries whom? So whom she is going to marry? So she is going to marry a normal male. So this one is with respect to a normal male. So when she marries a normal male, so what is the condition that might be there? So let's say this is basically marries. All right, so that is a normal male. So how do we represent a normal male there? So that is with respect to X and Y. Okay, so that is because X and Y, because none of the genes are affected here. So this is completely normal here. So XY it is. Okay, now let's put up a Punnett square and see this. So female we are writing here, that is XHX, and here we'll put up X and Y. Okay, so we'll put up this Punnett square and let's have a look at the progenies that are going to be produced here. So now here XHX is being produced, XHY is being produced, X and X is being produced, and X and Y is being produced. Okay, so what is the condition here? So you can just have a look at this. This particular female, so she is X and X, so she is a female. So this one is female, and what is she? So this is also a female. This one you can see, this is male, this is male, and here you can see this is a carrier. Okay, and this is affected individual. So that is because only one X chromosome is it. So this is going to have a, like, express, this is going to express itself fully, and that's the reason this is affected. So this individual is affected here. This one is a normal female and this one is the normal male. Okay, so this is the case that you will be looking at. So this is with respect to X-linked inheritance hemophilia. Okay, so this is what X-linked inheritance. And the condition here that I'm trying to explain is hemophilia. Okay, so we can just take up the different studies with respect to this. So hemophilia, which can also be called as the bleeder's disease. Okay, all right, so this is with respect to bleeder's disease. Okay, and this can even be called as a royal disease. I hope this is clear. So moving on to the next one. So out of the four offspring, like, out of the four progenies that are produced, only XCY is going to be affected. So you can see here, since the mother is actually a carrier, so you can see, if even if the mother is carrier, so she is going to transfer her disease to the son. So in that case, now the mother is having this faulty chromosome, so what is happening? The son, so son is being affected here, that is XY. So why the son is affected? Because this faulty chromosome is coming from a mother to the son. But here also you can see, but she is anyway a normal individual itself, but she is just a carrier. Okay, so that means she is not having any symptom. She is carrying the faulty chromosome, when she gets married, there is a chance that she can transfer her condition to the next generation, that is to the son. And that is the reason we call this X-linked inheritance a crisscross inheritance, because if a mother is affected, the son is going to have a disease, and if the father is affected, the daughter is going to have a disease here. All right. So now with respect to that hemophilia, when we mention, so a female hemophiliac patient is an extremely rare occurrence. Why is it extremely rare occurrence? Because only if both of the genes or both of the alleles for the chromosome, alleles which are there on the chromosomes are affected, then only the female is going to have a disease. If only one is affected like this, then there is no disease, she is just a carrier. So this you all know, right? XX here, I'll just mention this. Okay, so I'll just write 1 second. So XX over here, why is it not writing? Okay, so this is XX. So XX means what? She is a normal female. Okay, and XHX is there, so that means she is a carrier. So only one of her chromosome is affected, so she is carrying one of the chromosome, that is a faulty chromosome. Here the other case is XHXH, so that means she is having a disease, so affected individual, so she is having a disease there. Okay, so only in this condition, only in a heterozygous condition, so she can be a carrier. In a homozygous condition with a faulty chromosome, so that is extremely a rare occurrence, because she is in a homozygous condition, only then she is gonna get affected. If this is a heterozygous condition, so in heterozygous condition, so this individual is going to be completely normal. So this is over here, it is a heterozygous condition. Okay, so why are we saying this is heterozygous? Because one of the faulty chromosome is there, other chromosome is normal. And here you can see this is with respect to XX. So homozygous anywhere here I have not mentioned, so only if both, I'll just write it here. So that is XHXH. So that is the one which is basically homozygous condition, and in the homozygous condition the individual is gonna have this hemophilia. All right, is that clear? Any doubt? Any of you? So now if the father is hemophiliac, so only father is hemophiliac and mother is a carrier, then the female offspring will not have the disease. Okay, so that means mother is there, she is a carrier, father is hemophiliac. So let's see, this is gonna vary, so that is depending on the condition. So let's take a case number 2 here, as they have mentioned. So this is with respect to case study, so that is number 2. 1 second. So for case 2, what they have mentioned, so father is hemophiliac, so this is XHY. So that means the father is having a diseased condition and he is gonna marry the carrier female, so that is XHX here. So let's put up a Punnett square now. So this is as usual XHX, and then there is XHY. So let's put up this Punnett square. So now with this you can see that the female is going to have a disorder. Okay, because the father is giving his faulty gene, the mother is also giving her faulty gene, and here is where you can see that only if a faulty gene is there, so the female is gonna get affected, or otherwise if this is the condition, so faulty chromosome is anyway given by the father, mother's normal chromosome is coming, so in that case this is gonna be a carrier. In the other case here, so XHY, so mother is having a faulty chromosome, so this one is again a affected individual, this is affected individual, and here XY, so this is gonna be a normal individual. So now you know, depending on what type of a condition is there, so there is a change that is gonna occur. So here anyway, if the father is hemophiliac and mother is a carrier, then the female will have the disease. That is because one of the faulty chromosome is coming from the mother as well, one of the faulty chromosome is coming from the father. So that means they'll have a disease. Okay, is that clear? Any doubt? Any of you? Just a second. Alright. So let's have a look at this. That is color blindness. Okay. So what exactly is color blindness? So individual might be having a problem differentiating between green and red color. So that is one type of color blindness. So there are many different types. Okay. So some individuals will have green and red color differentiation color blindness. So some will have with respect to blue, yellow and red, orange. So different coloration can be there, but most common is green and red color differentiation problem. So there are different types in the color blindness again. So a disease where the patient cannot discriminate between red and the green color. Okay. So if the patient is unable to differentiate between the red color as well as the green color, so there they just appear as black and white. Okay. So red is not seen as red, the green is not seen as green, so it will just appear black and white. So that is called as a color blindness. Okay. So again here also it is also a sex linked disease which is caused by the defect in the red and green cone of the eye. So what exactly is cone? Cone is basically responsible, so that is for, just a second. Yeah, so cone is basically giving you a color vision. Okay, so one can have a color vision, like you can differentiate between red color, green color, yellow color, blue color, orange color. So different color differentiation you can find because the cone is the one which is having, which is producing a different pigment, and mainly the iodopsin pigment. Okay, and with respect to that you can see a different coloration. Now if the cone itself is not being formed, or the iodopsin is not being formed, so then there is no color vision. So with respect to that, so there is a defect in the red and the green cone. So not all the cone, this is with respect to red cone is not being produced and the green cone is not being produced, and that's the reason you cannot differentiate between the red and the green color. So now this is also due to the recessive gene that is present on the X chromosome itself, which is affecting male. Again it is carried by the female. So again here the females are, they are very less affected by by this particular condition, but male you can see this is more. Okay, so it is a rare case in case of female, but it is more in case of a male because they have only one X chromosome which is going to express itself fully, and that is the reason, even if a faulty chromosome is coming, so that is going to express itself fully, and that's the reason the male will have a disease. In case of female, what is the condition? So since the female is having two of the X chromosome, if one of the X chromosome is not working fine, the other chromosome is gonna work totally fine. That is, it is going to dominate the action of the other chromosome. So in that case you can see that the other chromosome will be producing a normal protein and the symptoms. So basically this female who is having one faulty chromosome, so she won't have any symptom, but she is a carrier because when she gets married, she can transfer her disease to the son. Okay, so that's the reason the carrier is the one who is passing her, mother is the one who is passing a disease to the son, that is through the faulty chromosome. Now a male patient will have XCY, that is inheriting the defective chromosome from his mother. So females are less likely to have the disease since they have two X chromosome. The healthy chromosome will dominate over the defective one or the recessive one. So we'll take up one more cross study for this one, case study for this one. Just a second. Alright. So now case number 3, so that is for color blindness. So this one I'm explaining for color blindness, not for hemophilia. Okay, so here what is mentioned in case 3. So let's take what example you want me to take. Any example that you would recommend? The normal female colorblind man, or colorblind female normal man, anything is fine. Or we can just take the normal female. Okay, and or the okay, so let's take colorblind man and the normal female. Okay, so here this is XHX, which is a carrier. Okay, so what we have discussed, so we'll be taking a normal female there. So in that case we'll be taking just XX. Okay, so this is the one. All right, and this normal female is now gonna marry whom? So she is gonna marry, so let's say she'll be marrying a male who is having this faulty chromosome, so that means he has a color blindness. So this one is the color blind man. Okay, so now let's put up a Punnett square and analyze this. So XX is there, then there is XCY is there. Now you can see that the father is giving his gene to the daughter. So in that case, both of them are XCX. Here also it is XX. So there is no disease, but here both of them are carriers. So this is a carrier and this is a carrier. Okay, and here also Y, when we mention, just a second, so X and Y is there, X and Y. So basically from the mother the X chromosome is normal here. So these children, that is son who are there, so they are completely normal. So what you can understand from this, the faulty X chromosome is contributed by the father to the daughter. And now the normal X chromosomes which are there in the mother, so these are contributed by the mother to their son. So that is the reason they are normal, but these are carriers. Anyway, they also will lead a normal life. Only thing is that when they get married, so they can transfer their disease to the son, or otherwise they are anyway normal, healthy, so they are not having any symptom as it, so they are just carrier. And that is why we call this X-linked inheritance as the crisscross inheritance, where it is being passed from father to the daughter and mother to the son. So any doubt? So this is basically Mark Twain, John Dalton were both colorblind. John Dalton had even done an extensive research to understand his condition. So that is basically about the color blindness itself. Now from the entertainment industry, Christopher Nolan, filmmaker, and the Keanu Reeves actor are also colorblind. The owner of the Facebook, that is Mark Zuckerberg, and the ex-president of the US, that is Bill Clinton, are both known celebrities with the color blindness. So that means you can see that more of the men are affected. So that is because one faulty chromosome is passed on from their mother to the son, and that's the reason these children are having a color blindness. So summary of this session is genetic disorders caused by the disturbances in the chromosome, that can be mutation here. Okay, are of two types, so it can be with respect to Mendelian or the chromosome. So some of the genetic disorders are autosomal and some are sex linked. So sex linked disorders are the ones which we studied here, which are different in males as well as females, since their sex chromosome are different, because one female is having XX, male is having XY. So hemophilia, a bleeder's disease with defective blood coagulation, is passed to male, that is from the mother. The color blindness is another genetic disease affecting the male, so that is again passed through the defective gene, that is from the mother. So since both these are recessive gene that are found on the X chromosome, they are unlikely to affect the female, because the recessive gene is going to express when it is in a recessive homozygous condition. So homozygous recessive condition has to be there, that means XCXC. So both of the chromosomes should be affected, and only then in a homozygous condition the recessive gene is going to express itself. The females are only carriers of the defective gene. All right. So name the inheritance pattern shown by the hemophilia and the color blindness. Yes, anybody? What is the inheritance pattern shown in hemophilia and color blindness? No idea. So this is anyway crisscross inheritance itself, that is father to daughter and mother to son. Okay, so this inheritance pattern is called as a crisscross inheritance. Okay, so before I end this session, so let me just say about the batch that we have. So there is a batch in English. Okay, so this English batch you can take classes in, or there is a English batch also that you can take classes in. So basically PCMB are covered, that is physics, chemistry, maths and biology are covered in these batches, and the start date is 1st June. So there is a one more, like there is a new batch that is coming up. So here you have an option to watch the recordings as well, but yes, of course, you can watch many more sessions which are yet to go live, because in the July month we'll be conducting a revision session. So you can take up the revision session. We'll be explaining here also in detail because we have much more time. And subscribe for ICSE class 10. So if you are subscribing for 12 months, that is complete class 10, so you will be getting class 11 and class 12 subscription absolutely free, along with the class 10 subscription. So introducing community, never miss on any update from your favorite educator. Get session notes and practice material. Share your feedback directly with the educator via poll, and you can check out the link to the educator community here below in the description box. So Bucks Bounty, opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video. Be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description. So basically in the description you can find the link for community, for Bucks Bounty, for Unacademy ICSE and ISC channel, and also for a special plus. Okay, so any doubts you have, you can even get in touch with my community there, so you can ask your doubts there. All right then, so we are done with today's session. So see you all in the next session. So thank you all. Subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Click on bell icon to get notified about the session. Like and share the video, and download the Unacademy Learners app now and start taking up the free classes. And depending on your comfort, you can go for the plus classes as well. Okay, so see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone. Take care. Thank you all.